was no money up front?
It showed my son's sacrifice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooley Conway. Justice with a passion.
If you use an ice-cold therapy machine, this message is for you.
If you or a loved one used an ice-cold therapy machine and were seriously injured, call the cold water bathroom right now.
If you had ice therapy after your surgery and don't have any of these injuries, call us right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you or a loved one used an ice-cold therapy machine after surgery and were injured,
call 1-800-861-2037. That's 1-800-861-2037.
Anderson Cooper 360. Next on CNN.
Welcome back to our viewers in the United States and around the world. We are awaiting a statement from the Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, who is going to be speaking to Canada and to the world. An event that has terrorized Canada, and from so many Canadians today, been described as an event that changed the country, has changed that country's history. An act that certainly terrorized Canada. As a man drove up to the Parliament building, the Prime Minister was there, got out, shot a soldier, tried to kill others, and this story continues. 10 hours later, they are still in lockdown in that Parliament building, looking for a possible second shooter. We'll see if the Prime Minister will give us any more information as to whether there is a second shooter, whether this was an act inspired by ISIS, whether the Canadian government knew this man's name before this event. Our coverage continues as we await for the Prime Minister, and for that I'll hand it off to my colleague Anderson Cooper, who begins his program today.
Good evening from Ottawa, Canada. A city that is stunned at this hour of the violence that they have witnessed over the last several hours. The situation here right now is still very tense. Much of the area that we are in, very near Parliament Hill, is still in lockdown. The National War Memorial, where all this began, is just a few blocks over that hill, a couple blocks away from here. That is where a soldier was shot and killed earlier today. A gunman then moving towards Parliament Hill, where a security officer was shot. A gunman himself shot and killed inside that building. There's a lot to get to in the hour ahead. We're anticipating a press conference from Canada's Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. Will, of course, bring that to you live. And we're also learning a lot more about this gunman, a Canadian-born convert to Islam with a decade-long criminal record before his conversion, was responsible for this.
Let's go.
The scene this morning inside Canada's main Parliament building, there is, it goes almost without saying, an enormous amount of concern right now, both here and in the United States, about terrorism, whether it's lone wolf attacks or others, security breaches. That is why we begin also right now in Washington, where just moments ago, another person has jumped the White House fence. And Acosta is standing nearby. He joins us now by phone. Jim, what do we know about this incident?
Anderson, from talking to Secret Service officials, I can tell you around 7:30 this evening, there was another fence jumper. An unidentified man jumped the fence at the White House North Lawn. That is basically running along Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House, and trying to make his way towards the White House. But at that point, the Secret Service released dogs on that individual. He was taken down by 50
No, 30, just pump. 30 pump.
And I'm told from the Secret Service official that because the wounds suffered by this individual, he cannot go to the hospital because the dogs just quickly and took him down.
Has there been heightened security at the White House in the wake of the attacks here in Canada?
Absolutely. In the wake of what's happening in Canada, I mean, that is something you do not see throughout the day. I can say there's heightened security right now because of the fence jumping incident. Pennsylvania Avenue, pedestrian area, Pennsylvania Avenue, that runs in front of the White House, that has been completely shut down. Press, White House staff, anybody who works at the White House, you cannot get inside and outside of the White House right now because of the security situation. So all of that has been ramped up. I'm told by security officials that they're going through normal protocols right now some of the protocols changed in light of the sensitivity incident and in light of the truth
20 throws.
from back in September. Some of that changed in light of that incident, and so that all of those procedures right now are taking place as the service officials deal with the situation right now. But I can tell you that this is something that the Secret Service officers were waiting for. They were anticipating that somebody else might try to pass the security meter because of what has taken place for the last few weeks. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Anderson, but they've actually put up an additional temporary fence outside of the White House along Pennsylvania Avenue that runs along the north fence. So this person would have had to jump over that temporary fence, basically bike racks that are hooked up to each other, and then scale the existing fence of the White House to get on the ground of the White House. And so this person was able to penetrate all of that for a few seconds before these dogs took them down. Now, in terms of what happened in Canada earlier today, we did not see measurable difference in terms of security going on at the White House today because what happened in Canada. But we were told by Secret Service officials is that they were monitoring what was happening in Canada and keeping an eye on things there.
Jim, I appreciate the update there. Obviously, there is a lot of tension on both sides of the border right now. Sadly, what happened here in Ottawa is far, far worse. Blood has been shed. A soldier killed just several blocks from here. You can hear sirens still going on all throughout this entire area. Much of it, as I said, still on lockdown. A number of the buildings, the Parliament building included, that is also still on lockdown all these hours later. The search for possible additional suspects is still underway. At
Your
this
turn,
hour,
Bar.
Catch it.
Get it up.
We don't yet have all the information about whether this was part of a broader network or plan, or whether this was an individual or a series of individuals.
Get it up.
Decided to take these actions. But it emphasizes the degree to which we have to remain vigilant when it comes to dealing with these kinds of acts of senseless violence or terrorism.
That was President Obama who spoke earlier to Canada's Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. Tonight, what we are learning about the alleged killer and the attack. We are live all through this hour. We're going to be back at the 11 o'clock hour for all the latest updates.
Get it up.
The attack scene
10.
today, and it's important
All right,
to know that
hold this up in the air.
days after the U.S. and Canada, and we're going to go deeper into all of that tonight.
9:52 a.m. A blaze of gunfire at the Canadian War Memorial in Ottawa. One of two soldiers standing guard at the memorial is gunned down.
I was walking my bike up. I heard 4 shots. I from that direction, I turned around and ran. And I saw one of those soldiers laying on the ground.
Come on.
Eyewitness Peter Henderson.
Put the gun on his shoulder and fired 4 shots.
That's the hard part.
Through an entrance meant for officials. He exchanges gunfire with security officers. Mom, I'm okay. I'm in hiding. And this tweet from Senator Jim Munson reads in part, everyone's safe but shaken. There's plenty of gunfire.
All right.
MPs say they can
Now,
smell
pump this
gunfire.
20 times.
By 10:30 a.m., a journalist inside Parliament tells reporters he saw a body slumped over. It will be hours, though, before we get official word that the gunman is dead. Killed by Sergeant-at-Arms Evan Vickers. 4 others reportedly injured in the attack, including a security guard at Parliament, are taken to Ottawa Hospital. Meanwhile, Ottawa police still don't know how many suspects they are looking for. At 11:22 a.m., police tell CNN there may have been 2 or 3 shooters at the War Memorial.
They do believe that
30 a.m., there's word of yet another shooting from police. This one is a 7-minute walk from Parliament, near Ottawa's Rideau Centre Mall. Later, that report is discounted. Just before noon, the U.S. Embassy in Ottawa is locked down, and President Obama is briefed on the shooting.
Get it
Then,
up.
just after 1 p.m., this we're in news.
The Canadian soldier
10 times. Get it up.
The soldier is identified as Corporal Nathan Cirillo, a reservist from Hamilton, Ontario. Late this afternoon, more bad news. Ottawa's police spokesman confirms to CNN they are still looking for additional suspects. The last thing those in Ottawa needed to hear after such a terrifying day. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.
Terrifying day indeed, and even a terrifying